I'll give you the background context first. So Dan Martell, like I do my business coaching with him, and he has a media company now, and he was a tech star. He's from the East Coast of Canada. He's like New Brunswick, Moncton, and he went to Silicon Valley, had like several tech startups that he exited. Then he started like this media company, and he had been producing content for 10 years. So like YouTube, Instagram, it's like trying to be helpful for people, and it was flat, for 8 years, and then he hired someone to go through, and they went through all the content, and they said, which one of these videos did well? Like, which one of them resonated with people? Which one of them, like, took off? And, like, which one of them was a banger? And I said, where did they put that? Is the banger content. And so they collected those, and they identified what components or elements made up those videos that actually did really well. And they made a model of that. And so they started implementing this model, which I'm about to show you, 18 months ago. And they're now doing 100 million views per month. And to give you an idea, like the Super Bowl has less viewers than that, right? Across all their channels, and it's just like exponential growth. So, yeah, marker that works. So all the videos that do well share these elements. They start with a problem, one problem, in the first 3 seconds. And that's the hook. That's what draws people in. They're like, oh, I have that problem too. Or they want to know what the solution was. Then it goes into a story. Like a related story, and then they teach. And then there'll be teaching at the end, because then the content's educational, it's valuable for people. But like this hooks them, this draws them in, the story makes it relatable and understandable, and then they absorb the lesson. And if you don't do this, so if you just have a story and a problem, then it's just a rant. And if you have a problem and then you're teaching, then it's like disconnected, so people can't relate. And if you have a story and then you teach, then this is just confusing. It's not clear. It's not clear why you're telling a story and then teaching. But if you have all three of them, then like creates like viral content. So that's a simple problem, story, teach for content. And so that's more actionable. So this is like when we're producing content, it's more like Winston and Kat, and when we plan it out, or when I'm teaching something. But to give you an example, so like if I'm going to make a video, and I could say, let's say I want to make a video about wainscoting, and I could say, hi, my name is Nick. This is wainscoting. We do wainscoting, and maybe the end result in my video is I want to show people like how it's done, like what the components are. This is a piece of wainscoting. You could have wainscoting in your house, and this is called the chair rail. This is the rails. These are the rails over here, and these are the stiles. So these are the components. And like you probably picked up that that's boring. People aren't likely to want to listen to that. But instead, if I said, have you ever wondered how wainscoting is made? I didn't know how wainscoting was put together, so I had to go and talk to some people who knew how to do it and find out. So I went to school for carpentry, and my teacher showed me that the top part here is called the chair rail, and these are called the rails, and these are called the stiles. And then once I knew what the components were, then I figured out, oh, this is the order I need to do them in, and then I built some chair rail, and I built one. This is what it looks like, and the person was really happy with it, right? And then like you probably noticed that's already much more engaging, and just using that like a problem story and teaching, so it relates to people. But then how does this relate to our business? Like we're not a marketing company like they are, but the idea is you build a media engine, and then we tie that to a revenue engine. So this means like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, Reels, podcasts. So if we build, if you have a company and you provide value to people, so that you have a following, so that people like they know your content, they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy. They like watching that content. They're subscribers and they relate to it. So now they start to follow you across here, and this could even like include blog, LinkedIn, Twitter. So you have this content, and not necessarily tied to like one specific company. So the example is like Mr. Beast. I don't know if you know Mr. Beast or your kids. Yeah, then definitely you would know. So this is what he did. He built this engine of like, in his case, millions, like he spent decades working on it, millions and millions of followers and viewers. And then he has this following, and then he can take their attention and point it in one direction. So after building this up, then he came up with Feastables, and they're doing billions of dollars. Like he's the first YouTuber who's worth over $1 billion, because he took all this attention and then he pointed it in that direction of like, okay, now here's like my inventory, here's a product, and directed them all there. And the same thing, Ryan Reynolds. So I haven't seen it, but apparently in one of his new movies, Deadpool movies, like he breaks to the fourth wall and he looks at the camera and he's like, aviation gin. And so he has this, everybody loves Ryan Reynolds, he has this following, he points it to his product. And same thing, and they're doing millions and millions of dollars in sales. And so it's like, and so this is like about integration.
Pretty much you have to become famous, people jump on.
Yeah, exactly. And not even necessarily famous, but just to have an audience, because the audience doesn't need to be that big. You know, like so our goal in Numinos, our 3-year goal, we would have 500 customers a year. So how big of an audience do we need to get 500 customers out of it? You know, if we convert 10% of all of our followers, then we need 5,000, which is, it's not necessarily famous, but it's like a following across all of these, and then we can say, look, we have an accent wolf for you, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, like I know, I trust them, I know them, I've seen their stuff, I've seen their long form content, and like especially I think it takes 10 hours for somebody to get to know someone else just by watching the video. So like you might have some like your favorite person you watch on YouTube, or like if you listen to a podcast, you could feel like, oh, I know that person. I know them pretty well because I've listened to them for so long that you can relate. So then, and in our case, you know, it would be the company, it would be whatever, like our products on the revenue engine, which includes like our services that are in person. And that's also the idea behind this, the course, because our audience, we have 70,000 followers across our channels. 8% of them are in Canada, and what percentage of those? I'd say, you know, maybe 10% are in Calgary.
Only 8% are in Canada.
Yeah. So most of them is the United States. So how can we provide value to that? So the audience is there, but we can't fly to the States to do accent walls. But we can offer them a course, so we can teach them, like give them something of value. And so we'll continue to build out the products. But this is just like to give you the overview. It's like the media engine tied to the revenue engine, and then like there's more complexity, but that's just like the simple concept, which I found like
Is there also
very valuable.
The easiest there and it's shipped quickly now?
Yeah, exactly.
For something like a material product, like a kit or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we've been like experimenting with that, like Etsy. Kits, even like books.
Like even like if you say, because oftentimes like if I follow someone who say is cooking or something, right? And then they would have their Amazon link to the tools they're using. Even if you like say those are the tools I recommend, those are the ones that do better. Also kind of like another revenue.
Yeah, affiliate. Yeah, there's lots of opportunities for like affiliate sort of deals. Yeah. Yeah, and then with like you solve a problem for that audience. So like what's what's causing them pain? It might be, my house is really boring. I want to do a quote for this guy. He had a lot of pain from his house. They bought a new house. He's like, it feels like I'm in a hospital. It feels like I live in an institution, and like pretty soon I'm going to start taking the pills because I can't stand it anymore. Like all the walls are square. He's like, it's like a 5-year-old. If you told a 5-year-old to draw a house and he just drew a bunch of boxes, and he's like, I live in a box and everything is just like a box and all the walls are white, and like it's just like a regular, you know, suburban new construction. But like he kept repeating it, so it was like actually painful for him. He was like, I feel like I live in an institution for crazy. He's like, I'm ready for them to come in and strap me into the suit and just leave me in the bedroom. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's not the basement, but the whole house is just like, it's very square, it's very boring. Yeah, so that's a pain point. So that's, you know, that's a problem we can solve for them. So we just need to communicate that. Oh yeah.
And here you have all the information at your fingertips in one place.
Yeah.
And you don't need, you can stop scrolling and constantly be, you know, I like this, I like that. You kind of just like the approach of this particular person, and you want to do everything the way they do because you see how it's efficient, works.
Yeah, it works.
So just for the time and energy saving.
Yeah. But yeah, that's small. Any questions?